What could make good food even better? Knowing it was invented here in the Metro, of course. Hard to imagine there was a day with no butter brickle ice cream. And it took both Council Bluffs and Omaha to make it happen. Woodward Candy of Council Bluffs created the flavor. The Blackstone Hotel put it into ice cream. And the rest is history. Speaking of the Blackstone, 1927, and the poker players at the hotel were hungry. Ruben Kulikovsky ordered a corned beef and sauerkraut sandwich. Chef Bernard Schimmel got creative, and Ruben's sandwich ultimately gained fame across the entire country. Ruffles have ridges, and they also have local roots. Bernhard Stamer thought cutting his potato chips with waves made them taste cheesy, even though no cheese was added. That's debatable, but a rich chip is just more fun. A young boy had a nickel, but couldn't decide if he wanted candy or ice cream. Soda jerk Christian Nelson decided to give him both. He pitched his idea to Mr. Russell Stover of Omaha, and the Eskimo pie was born. Mr. Duncan Hines wasn't from the Metro and wasn't really much of a cook, but the instant cake mix with his name that changed baking forever was born right here. Skinner is known for macaroni, but Lloyd and Paul Skinner were also the first to mix a fruit into a cereal, and Raisin Bran came into being in 1926. Paxton and Gallagher was a wholesale grocery company, but really hit it big when they launched Butternut Coffee in 1913. They said what made their coffee taste as sweet as a nut was using gas instead of coal to roast the green beans. What would you do if the holiday had come and gone, and you still had 520,000 pounds of frozen turkeys left over? Gilbert Swanson and young Duchesne College grad Betty Cronin had no choice but to get creative. And they changed American eating habits big time when they invented the TV dinner. Willie Thiessen didn't invent pizza, but he created an awesome recipe that led to Godfather's growth from a single pizza parlor into the fastest growing franchise in America in the late 1970s.
Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin, Laurel and Hardy, all names from silent film and early talking pictures that are instantly recognizable. But if one looks back, another name was even more prominent. Council Bluffs native Harry Langdon. He has a star on Hollywood Boulevard, and any serious cinema buff would know his work, but Harry Langdon's name doesn't enjoy the recognition of his peers. Langdon was paired with Oliver Hardy for a picture, and rumors ran rampant that Laurel was out and Langdon was in. He had 7 features released within 2 years, more than twice that of his contemporary stars. Harry Langdon was born in Council Bluffs in 1884. His father, William, was a successful house painter. Motion picture history buffs continue to debate what caused his obscurity. Some say it is a classic case of an actor putting his career into his own hands. The onset of his box office downslide was coincident with his move to the director's seat. Or could there be some Hollywood politics involved? The director he fired was Frank Capra, who went on to become a Hollywood legend. Others attribute the decline to overexposure. Perhaps the most compelling idea to explain his relative obscurity is one Mr. Langdon would have understood completely. He committed the worst mistake a vaudevillian could make. His timing was off. He died too early. Buster Keaton lived long enough to be rediscovered by a new audience at the Cannes Film Festival. Charlie Chaplin received a belated Oscar. Laurel and Hardy found new fans via television, but Harry Langdon died in 1944, too early to enjoy the rebirth of his style.
The name Disney brings happy smiles no matter where you live. But wouldn't it be cool if there were times our Metro had helped out Mickey Mouse? We actually have. It was an inventor born in Council Bluffs that let Mickey use his voice in a film for the very first time. Lee DeForest processed recorded sound directly onto film as parallel lines. Though the system was never picked up by the major studios, the process provided the audio for Mickey's first sound film, Steamboat Willie. How about the movie's music itself? That was from the Metro too. Walt hired Joe and George Green of Omaha to play the music in Steamboat Willie. It was Walt Disney that first sketched Mickey Mouse, but it was a Council Bluffs artist who helped Walt learn to draw. Louis Grell taught art at the Chicago Academy of Fine Arts when young Walt Disney took night classes there. Disney was beginning a career as an advertising cartoonist, and Grell was an instructor of commercial illustrations and advertising drawings. Disney's animated film, Three Little Pigs, was one of his first to win an Oscar. What stood out in that picture was the song Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Wolf? And it was co-written by Omahan Anne Rosenblatt. George Brivo was born in Russia, but his family emigrated to Omaha when he was 3. He worked as a soda jerk here in the Metro, but had his own classy Italian restaurant in the movie Lady and the Tramp, where he was the voice of Tony. Mickey Mouse would probably never have ever been born were it not for a dentist just 90 minutes from the Metro. Walt was broke and about to give up his dream until Dr. McCrum commissioned him to make a dental hygiene film. That Disney picture was Tommy Tucker's tooth. Disney Imagineer Kevin Rafferty's last project before retiring was Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway at Disney World. He commented it was an appropriate wrap-up to his career because his great-great-grandfather had been a real-life locomotive engineer. It was him, John Francis Rafferty, who was at the throttle of the Rock Island train that pulled out of Council Bluffs July 21st, 1873, on its way to becoming the first train to be robbed by Jesse James and his gang.
History is never truly lost until it's forgotten. And preserving that history is our mission. The Historical Society of Pottawattamie County in Council Bluffs, Iowa.